Hey, it's Marilyn Richards. I am the owner and founder of Echo Tango Sierra LLC. If you're watching this video, first of all, I would really like to introduce you to who I am and what I do. I am a veteran and life transition coach. Let me repeat that. Oh, let me rephrase that. I'm a military transition and a life transition coach. Welcome to Echo Tango Sierra, a space for honest conversations and anything that has to do with military life, transition, purpose, and faith, life after military service. And I invite you to also like and subscribe, as well as finding links and resources in the description of my YouTube video. Or you can go to Linktree and find me, Linktree slash Marilyn R. Here listed. Oh, nope, nope, right there. So I'm listed right there, or you can feel free to visit my website, echotangosierra.com. If I could be of any help in your transition process or in life, um, I would love to be your coach and help you through it. So thank you very much for tuning in, and let's get started, shall we? So I created Echo Tango Sierra based out of my own experiences. I am a dual service military veteran, and so life is hard, and it's hard for many of us, not just for those of us who have lived a life in and out of uniform, but life in general, I'm finding is extremely difficult, especially after the holidays. And if you are like me, and this year especially has been um, a very challenging year. And so my message is really about um, during a holiday season, today's Christmas, and if Christmas feels quiet or heavy, if it feels different than you expected this year, I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone. And I wanted to let you know that if you're not feeling a little festive, if you're having a difficult time, I know today I wasn't really feeling very festive and joyful, like I would normally would. Things have been very disappointing for me this year, and it's been very fluid and uncertain, especially after everything that's happened in the federal government. The things that have affected me in the federal government has affected my own life personally, and it's been a lot of trying to get grounded, getting my body regulated, and working through things that are outside of my control. What's happening in this world, what's happening in our government, what's happening in life that we cannot control, I'm learning that I have to let go and let God. And for some of us, especially for those who've lived through trauma, I know for me as a trauma survivor, um, going through not just trauma, but losses. And there's different ways of experiencing loss. There's loss of relationships, lost lost loved ones, people who've either passed on or you've had to let go because of circumstances that have, you know, caused the family to be separated. There's loss of the job, loss of identity, loss of purpose, the loss of wearing a uniform. Even if you've been out for a while, you know, you're just uh, trying to live life each day, right? In just the best way that you can and the best way that you know how. You know, with whether you live through trauma and losses, even through big transitions, especially around the holidays, they can stir up some really complicated emotions. And if you are a veteran and you're listening to this message, emotions can sometimes be a very complicating thing for us to handle, right? I was taught to suck it up, and I was taught to compartmentalize. When you're, it works in the military, but how many of you know, as you're watching this video, you know it's great for hostile situations, and when we're training for hostile environments, when we're training for combat, or when we're training to handle a situation to like get ourselves out of it emotionally and mentally, you know, compartmentalizing our emotions works when you're dealing with high stress environments, but it does not work for everyday life. And learning how to manage our emotions is key, uh, myself included. I've had to learn how to apply emotional intelligence. I've learned how to really get back in tune with myself and understanding that having emotions doesn't make us feel weak, it makes us human. But the military teaches us that if we're feeling sad or crying, you know, have you ever heard the term cry me a river? Or here's the world's smallest violin, and it plays my heart bleeds for you. These are the things that I grew up around. You know, things that are might seem harsh now, but they were acceptable because it taught us how to be hard and to handle the hard things, but not necessarily in a healthy way. So even though we might navigate life now as far as the holidays and things in life in general that may not turn out the way we've wanted it to. I know for me, I get really disappointed. And when I'm disappointed, it feels like the whole world has just crashed down and I don't know how to come back from that. So I'm learning how to navigate and regulate. And this is where learning how to be kind to yourself really matters. It's not that when we are in the military and, you know, we become this hard shell, it's not that we don't care, because we do, right? But we don't know how to really show it. And um, when we're feeling isolated and when we're feeling alone, we kind of have a hard time communicating that. And when we've lived through some of the most hardest times of our lives, right? It's really hard to communicate some of those feelings and some of those things that we might be holding inside. You know, it might be because we feel broken or misunderstood. I know for me, I was feeling misunderstood a lot. I am a sailor first and an airman second because as a dual service veteran, I served in the Navy first. And then after 9/11, I crossed over into the Air Force. And I didn't really adjust very well to that culture, although I really loved the Air Force and the quality of life. So I tried to hold on to that for many years. And of course, my career plans had changed over the years. And again, you know, life had to take a pivot. You know, I had to pivot, and life had to take another turn. And so there's all this constant instability and the things that, you know, you have to learn to navigate when you have to pivot, when you have to take a different direction in life. You know, our nervous system over time becomes overstimulating. So when we become strong for too long, then what used to be our weaknesses then become, excuse me, what used to be our strengths in the military later on start becoming a challenge for us. What used to work then doesn't work so much now. And that was me. I sucked it up for many years and I was like, I could do this. I could suck it up. Um, And I could only be like that for so long when I hit a breaking point. And now learning to acknowledge my emotions. And sure, did this Christmas not go the way I wanted it to? Yeah, I was feeling really bummed and not really much in the festive spirit. You know, so if today is just one of those days for you, if you're not feeling as joyful, if you're not feeling festive or altogether lovely, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to be. Sometimes the bravest thing that we could do, especially on holidays, is to just stay present instead of pretending like we're okay when we're really not. You in situations like this, when you really are not okay, it's it's not okay to pretend that you are because you're just stuffing it down, hoping it will go away, but it won't. And that's why it's really important to have these checkpoints, not just with yourself, but maybe it's with a therapist or a counselor or someone that you trust that you might be able to confide in that understands you. Maybe it's your battle buddy. I know for me, I've reached out to a lot of battles over the course of my time, even years after getting out of the military. Who understands us better than our brothers and sisters who've served alongside us? Maybe not exactly alongside us, but wore the uniform. And I've found a lot of the support, even though I have so much wonderful support from family and friends, it's my battles that I've really leaned on. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you trying to navigate and finding it tough, especially around the holidays, to survive. It's hard seasons. This year, especially, I've had to survive such very hard seasons. And we've done that. We've done that in the military. We've survived and handled really hard things. And now coming into that point in life where you feel like you're not you're not who you used to be. But that's okay because you are in a place where you're relearning who you are. You're shifting identities. You're not who you were in the military anymore. And sometimes that's a really hard thing to let go. You are what shaped you, yes, but there has to come to a point where what used to serve you then is not serving you anymore. So wherever you are today, I hope that you do offer yourself a little bit of kindness. Peace doesn't always arrive wrapped in celebration. Peace doesn't always arrive in how you would hope or expect it to. But one thing that I'm learning, even in my own journey, is that allowing yourself to feel, acknowledging just that much, and allowing yourself to process emotions and process it in a healthy manner, not trying to drink into a stupor or, punching a bag because it feels good. Yes, those are great outlets to exert some of that physical pressure into a physical activity. Boxing, exercising, all that is great, but you need a mind, body, and a spiritual balance. And so when it comes to peace within, it really does start with acknowledging that you're not okay. I was not feeling okay today, but I was talking with family and I was talking to friends and a battle buddy, and I was like, you know, I'm not okay, but I'm going to be all right. And I hope that if you're watching this, that you could say, I'll be okay too. I'm not doing okay, but I'm glad I'm not alone. And so I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I really hope that you do feel that beautiful joy of this festive season that only Christmas brings. And if today doesn't feel as you normally would wish that it could be so, I want you to know that you are seen and you are acknowledged and you are heard. And if there's anything that I could do to help alleviate some of that burden, maybe there's some words of comfort, encouragement, maybe some kind of coaching or something worth just having an ear to listen to would help. Please visit my website, echotangosierra.com. Please visit my link tree and allow some of the resources there to help you. And if you need a friend, please call someone. You're not alone. And I hope you never have to feel alone again. So, this is Marilyn Richards with Echo Tango Sierra. Thank you for watching. Until next time.